Okay. Again. In 2 minutes, I'll be ready. Timer is the patient is clean. Can you record it, please?
Yes, recording.
Okay. I'll start. Hi, I'm Nikhil. Today I'm going to present on this topic, Zamunda Waters. So Zamunda Water is a state-owned company which manages, store and distribute potable water. It handles B2B and B2C customers. Approximately, it handles 5 million households and 500K businesses. Their goal is to move into a budget-friendly service relationship application where they can handle their customers efficiently. So here's the org strategy I'm proposing is a single org where we will support multi-languages by custom label translation workbench and supported languages in Experience Cloud. So here also we have an assumption that the budget is limited and also the waste operator companies who want to partner with this Zamunda Waters, they would not be more than 500 inquiries per month. And now going to roles. So there are 5 active customers, and so the license which I'm proposing to them is Service Cloud, as they will be having access to, as they need access to Service Console, Omnichannel, and S-Voice. For key customer managers that will be handling key customers, so and they operate in 3 cities, and for them also I'm proposing Service Clouds. For them it will be case assignment, and they will be handling key customer directly. Then we have a wastewater operator uh, for the external third party who will be helping with the sewage treatment, and I'm assigning them partner license as they also need a role in the partner account. So another is a wastewater management team who will be handling this wastewater operators. Those are internal employees. For them, I am giving them Sales Cloud as they will be lead. Wastewater operator will come as a lead first, then they will be converted into account and contacts. Wastewater management team will be handling that application with the lead. Then these are the end customers who are like households, customers like residential customers. I'm proposing them CC login as the high volume customers, and I assume the login frequency will be less, so I'm proposing CC login over CC here. In the roles, we will have one service VP who will be the service reps will be reporting to only one service VP, and then the wastewater key management team member also will be reporting to one service VP. And then we have a wastewater operator who will be handling the sewage, who will be handling in the sewage treatment. Then we have a key customer VPs they will be team leads for 3. So they have operating in 3 cities. So one team lead will be handling 1 city, and for each team lead, there will be key customer managers who will be handling key customers. Now they have in the landscape, they have this water ERP where they having the billing information as well as the handle the customers or manage the CRM relationship. They want to just decommission the CRM part of it, and that data wants to be moved to Salesforce. And then we have ZEVPP, which handles the billing as well as presenting the invoices. Then we have a waste manager application where all the operators input the information and it calculates how much the charges it takes for the treatment of the water. And then we have LDAP directory where the credentials and the other information for the users will be stored, and that will be we will be handling it single sign-on SSO via Okta for all the internal employees if they need to go to Salesforce. And then Salesforce is a CRM application where we will be having digital experience sites, one for partner, one for customer, open CTI with SOS, and then we have an in-text draw loop. And the ETL will be used uh, ETL will be used as a transformation, extract transformation load engine, where they will be migrating a lot of data from the CRM application to Salesforce application. And then MuleSoft will be the ESB, which will be helping in with orchestrating business integration. Then we have a mobile publisher for uh, giving the app for the customers and the partners. And we also have a Facebook for social sign-on. We will be using OIDC here. And for mobile publisher, we will be using auth code with Pixie. And for the others, we are using JWT with the mutual TLS. But for Okta, we will be using SAML 2.0. So now going to this ERD diagram. So in this, we will be having a lead where the wastewater management operator company will be first registering it, filling up the application, and the key customer water waste manager will see that application, qualifies it, and convert them into a business account and the contact. And we will and for the household individuals, we will have a person account where the record type is an individual person account, and then there's another person account which will be household. This will be created custom, and then these will be owned by system users, and it will be PRO for internal, so that all internal can see every person account, but it will be a private for the external. Then we have a location, which will be the sites for the industry of big businesses. So for this, we have each site, and for each site, we have how much water waste process data we do. And then we have also a waste management program, which gets created every year if their monthly usage is more than 10 liter. And then for that program, it's connected with all the locations, and for each location, we have a monthly usage per location. In cases used for service handling for any issues and reporting, or either for the person account or as well as any business account. If they have any issues, we just use cases. And entitlement, because as per regulatory law, we have to handle within 10 minutes. And there are certain customers for which we have a tight SLAs, and for that I'm using entitlements. I'm using moving old cases to a data warehouse because there could be a chances of LDB, which I'll go through it right now. That's why I'm moving old cases to external. And then ACR being used because person accounts can be linked to other households, as well as the person account can also be linked to another business accounts. And then invoices is an external external object, which is where the data is coming from the third billing application, and it will be shown under the business account related list. Now for the LDB, person accounts are 5 million, and for each we are also creating a household account, so it will be around 10 million. For BA it is 500k. So as this is already it comes under LDB, so we are handling it by giving system user as the owner, and making custom indexes and skinny table. And for contacts, I'm making this as a private, and system user is the owner, and making it a skinny table. For cases, there could be, they mentioned that there could be 2 service requests or 2 cases created per account. So if it is 5 million, then approximately 11 million will be created. So that's why I'm removing any closed cases which are past closed cases, as well as they are older than 6 months. Then ETL job will be run to move those to old cases. I'm here proposing ETL rather than MuleSoft because that there will be million of cases that need to be handled. Now, going to requirements. So they say that internal user wants seamless access to the applications, and their credentials will be stored in LDAP. For that, I'm proposing Okta with Okta FastPass as a part of Okta Verify, and we will be using a SCIM protocol for the provisioning and deprovisioning. The customer can access Salesforce using native credentials or register or access via Facebook credentials. For that, I will configure Facebook as an auth provider and enable it on digital experience site. So here Okta will be for native credential. Here the Okta will be IDP for native credential, and for the persistent login which they asked explicitly for. So mobile publisher will come handy for persistent login. Now, key customers are basically they are explaining what key customers are. So any customers who have usage of more than 10,000 liter a month are considered as a key customers, and they need to be handled by a key customer manager. So I'm assuming that key customers are business accounts, not the individual accounts. This is an assumption because they also mentioned that key customers have the sites where the water management program is used. So those will be converted as a business accounts, and those will be marked as a key customer in checkbox, and then the owner will be key customer manager. So I've mentioned here key customer manager for the key customers. Now key customers are required. So by law, the key customers need to fill up this water waste management. Let me expand this, please. Yeah. So as per law, they need to provide this water management program. And so every year this has to be created automatically. So for this, the data is entered on authenticated portal and is reviewed by a key customer manager. So this data will come from the contacts of the business operator. They will fill up this information, and that will be reviewed by the key customer manager. So as is the master detail relationship, so we will be having a CVP, and customer will enter information for a proposed water usage for each site in the monthly usage allocation. So we will be using LWC. We will be giving a UI where they will get an accordion for each site, or they can click on next for each site and give the full information. And after they save it, the approval process will trigger to notify the key custom manager for them to review this waste management program. The waste management program has to be created automatically. So I will use Salesforce batch Apex usage. So as customers' data are in bulk, so I'm proposing Salesforce batch Apex because the data which we are going to handle is approximately 3.6 million, and that can be easily handled in the batch Apex class. So that's why I'm not going outside the Salesforce, and I'm using Salesforce batch Apex itself to create it at the end of the year. Now, the user can either propose monthly usage data for following year across each of the site, and there should be an option of copying the data from the previous WMP. So they just want us to give them the easy flexibility and make it easy for user to enter the information. And if they want to copy it from the previous year, then they should be able to do it. So basically, I'm proposing here that there will be a tab which will be actually for waste management program, which will open the LWC, and it will be UI friendly. They will have the option to either copy it from a previous data, as well as they can add it for each site using accordions. Even we will also give them the loaded through CSV, and then the data will finally through Apex controller will be end up over on these two objects. Now, the UI for capturing data should be user-friendly. Yes, so for that I've already explained that it could be dynamically displaying accordions for each site, or you can just click on plus just to add for each location. The application should ensure that key customer is specified on WMP, and upon submission, at least one site is entered with at least 6 months of usage data. So this WMP can only be submitted if they have provided one of the sites 6 months of data. For this, we will use this custom Apex trigger validation, which will check on this particular record if any of the site has more than 6 months of data, then it is valid to submit. Otherwise, we will throw up the error. And the customers can see this wastewater management program because they are MD, so they will have access to their own account, and then they can automatically see this waste management program. They will also be the contact lookup on WMP, they will have their own contact there. If WMP record is not submitted 30 days after initial creation and the email notification needs to be sent, on submission, a chatter notification has to be made for WMP record. So if they are not submitted in 30 days, we will send them the email notification. For that, we will use schedule flow. that runs daily to get WMP records, which will check, okay, these are 30 days old and not submitted, then send the email. And there will be record trigger flow on WMP record. That default chatter entry has to be made with a link of WMP when the change the status has been changed to submitted. Now, key customer manager wants to show the printed copy of WMP, and that has to be branded, and that can be formatted by the template by marketing team. So it has to be formatted by marketing team. So I'm assuming that this can be changed by marketing team on a go, and we don't need a development team for them. That's why I'm proposing an in-text draw loop for this rather than creating a Visual Force page. Now, customer can create both inquiries and complaints on the portal, but either they can do it by website, or they can customer can call to the service center, and then they can get the inquiries created. For inquiries and complaints, I'm proposing case over here where OWD is private and it's going to be owned by service rep. And for this, I'm using a case tab for submission, so they can go to Experience Cloud website, and there they can create case there, or through CTIs the case will be created when they call the service agents. And I'm using the case assignment rule to assign this to a queue of service rep, and Omnichannel will assign it to the specific reps based on their skills, because the incident type can also tell which skill set should be used for which service resource or service rep. Now, if inquiry is not resolved within 14 days, an email is sent notifying the service rep. So for this one, as we need a timer for this 14 days, and then the notification has to be sent. And for certain customer which require high level of service, for them the time level changes to only 5 business days. So which tells me that there's a SLAs for different type of customers, and that's why I'm proposing entitlement SLA and having a milestone for each entitlement process. The customer data has to be synced. So let's go to system landscape. So they say the customer data has to be synced between a water ERP and the Salesforce system. They didn't specify which fields, but I'm assuming if they're going to be all the fields and a lot of fields involved, then we will use CDC, file forget. So Microsoft will subscribe it, and whatever changes is being done on Salesforce will be updated on water ERP, and vice versa also will be the same, that if any changes happen on the water ERP, Microsoft will subscribe it and change it to Salesforce. Customers can have multiple billing account, which stores the financial relationship that the customer has pertaining to a particular property. Customer should be able to link this billing account to inquiries and complaint. So one household will have this. On the starting, they have mentioned that one household may have 1.5 billing account. So the household will be linked to an individual, and that individual, basically individual is a person account, and that individual person account will have a account type as a billing account. So that will tell, okay, whether that account is a billing account or not. So when the case has to be, they mentioned that when the case is created, it has to be linked with the billing account. So we will have a lookup filter on the case to map it only with a billing account. If it's not a billing account, that the lookup will not show that account. Last month usage and current balance against the billing account will be viewable in both portal and internal Salesforce application. So for that one, I'm proposing that we can use ETL, because there will be around 7.5 million records, and that will keep growing. So ETL will be using it for the which can be run monthly, and which will update the current balance as well as the last monthly usage on the field on the billing account. And the invoice X will also show the last balance and last monthly usage, and there will be LWC for portal and indirect lookup to the account for enter. So there will be LW for the customers to see their invoices as well as the last monthly usage. I'll have LWC on their account as a related list where they will see all the invoices there. Now, customer can also do the following: view their past invoices and payments. So there will be LWC for invoices, and then click on the viewer. So there will be a custom link on LWC where once they click on it, so the MuleSoft API will be invoked to call ZEBP API to show PDF copies. So this actually holds the actually PDFs. So that link will be just shown by MuleSoft to that LWC on the invoices. Now, pay their bill securely using credit card. Successful payment should reflect both in ZEBP and against the invoices the customer is notified to transaction result immediately. So on the next to the invoices, we will also have a payment button that the moment they click on payment link, so they will be redirected to the hosted page of ZEBP. So MuleSoft will take care of that. For example, like they would make an entry into ZEBP certain object or a table, just like in a chargent, like a chargent order, and they will get the link back, and that link will redirect the user to that hosted page where they will enter the details of the payment. And once the payment is done, EBP via webhook will send the information to MuleSoft, which will be returned to the Salesforce to show the immediate result. So that's how we will do this. Wastewater operator can express their interest providing services to via public web page. So we will have a web 2 lead can be used for this, and the assumption is going to be less than 500 per day. Yeah, so it's 500 per day, yes. So lead assignment rule will be assigned to a queue of wastewater management team, and omni-channel will be used for round robin. Whoever is available will be assigned to a waste management person. Now, internal wastewater management actually qualifies this expression of interest, and once it qualifies, then they can log in. After that, they can log in and fill the application fee and do the payment. So for that one, I'm proposing that wastewater management, once they see the expression of interest, they qualified, they will convert that lead into a person account and contact manually. So account type, we will donate the, we will have a field will tell that, okay, this is a waste treatment partner. And then there will be login screen flow that will check on the condition. Okay, the application is not filled by this particular user. Then that will be the first thing that will be shown, where they fill up the application form, and then on the last there will be a button to pay, and they can also skip to pay it and pay it later, as there will be application tab where they can go and just pay it. Then the same screen flow will be opened up and they can pay it from there. So we will have a deduplication rule on the lead to make sure that this lead form is not entered twice or there's no duplicate leads over there. The wastewater management is provided with an easy to use interface about the water halt and process a bulk manner. So for this one, wastewater manage operator will just, sorry. So for this one, wastewater manager will use a lightning guided action for multiple sites, which can use screen flows. So they will, for each screen, they will see all the sites and for which they have provided the information or not. They can go each site by site and provide the information. And we will also give them the CSV upload way. They can just download the template from their site, from the Experience Cloud, upload the information, put it back, and we will insert the data for them in this waste management program, which is over here. So this will be for each location. And ZW will also provide an API for this company to enter data. MuleSoft will provide an API which can transform and validate the data before entering in the wastewater management program. So yes, the API for wastewater management program can be exposed to them via MuleSoft, where they can use that API to enter the information. And we will use a sharing set on this wastewater management program for wastewater operator to see this. Now, key customer, their WMP record only visible to a key customer manager that manages. So as key customer managers are the owners of the customer, so that's why they would be able to see it. And anyone above them would also see it because of the role hierarchy. Key customer manager can delegate WMP visibility to another manager and specify the end date. For this, there will be a custom fields, all the waste management program, where they can fill up the date as well as who will be the another key customer manager. Once they fill up that details, then the schedule path flow will be there, which will remove that, which will invoke the Apex class that hold the logic of Apex manage sharing to remove the access from the waste management. Sorry, it will be waste management share, WMP share. Now, the key customer indicator on the customer record is only visible to key customer manager. For this, we will use FLS on permission sets. Billing accounts are visible to a user who can view the customer record. So billing accounts are visible to user who can view the customer record. So this will be done through implicit sharing. All customers are viewable by service center rep and their manager. We will use view all for all accounts so that in service reps can see and their manager can see all this. Actually, this is a PRO, so they will get the access because of the OWD setting. So I'll change this to OWD is PRO. Yeah. And inquiries and complaints are only visible by the team that manages the type of request. So the DWD can designate an certain internal super user that has the ability to view all inquiry. So for super user, we will have a view all cases and permission sets. But for the inquiries that should be available by the team that manages type of, for that one, OWD is private and ownership will handle this and make it visible only to that person and their team and the team manager by role hierarchy. So water waste management team are only editable by the operator employee who entered it, and except for the external manager of that operator employee who can view the waste data entered across the team. So for external manager, I will give them the super user so that they can see across the siblings their data. And for operator employee, we will use sharing set with edit access. So it will be like user.contact equals to waste water management data dot operator employee contact. So this will give them the access. Only internal waste water management that manages the waste operator can view the company and its related data. So it will be done through role hierarchy. Customer can view billing information, inquiries, and complaint for their household or the company they work for. So even if the individual who is not the billing, but they log in, they should see the billing individual as well as the inquiries of that billing individual. So that will be done through a sharing set on the account. And the user.contact.related account will be the account.household accounts. So that will be the access mapping. So this will be the sharing set that will be used for them to see other person accounts. The user.contact.related account equals to case.account see the any account, any cases created by the other person in the household. So it will be done by this. Now, for the migration, I'm using, they want that all the active customer billing account to migrate to the new application, and they do not store any individual customer account, and customer details are stored separately on each billing account. For this, I will be using ETL to migrate data from the water ERP. They will be put it in stage first, and then in a canonical data staging, and then it will be moved to Salesforce as well as data warehouse. We will not be moving all the old cases or any old transaction data of the customers to Salesforce, as they can do a LDV. Now for reporting, one key customer can view a report and dashboard of WMP. For this, we will be using the standard report on monthly usage per location and case, and add report to the database. The service center manager would like to be able to analyze service request history. So for budget constraint, I'm proposing a report snapshot here instead of CRMA. Because they mentioned about the budget constraint, but the only caveat here is that they cannot see more than 2,000 records here. Now the primary, now we have now the talking about governance. So in governance, they say the primary decision maker in the project will include CIO, VP of the service, and for this we will have a VP of architecture, and all this will be included as a part of steering committee. All these people, and they want to get some Salesforce functionality live as soon as possible. We will follow the hybrid methodology and aim for MVP first, and later on, once we have its requirement design ready, and then even after MVP, we can go with the iterative development of additional features. Now they want some skills onshore development have to be engaged with offshore development team. So we will have a guardrail established by COE team, and then we will also have one source truth for code repository, and then there will be PR reviewers and PMD static in place so that they do not overstep on each other. Now they also want in-house team that develop integration to their existing system. They work only 6 months release, so that is a risk. So we will create technical design to share with the in-house team at the start of the project and with all the possible integration needed, so that they are prepared with their all the requirements before, so they have the requirements in hand, and then they can work in the 6 months period. And we'll make sure during that 6 months period we do regression testing in lower environment so that we can catch any possible issues. The component that manages key customer relation does not have integration dependency. The key customer has a very little insight into their requirement and are flexible with incremental change. So this will be the part of MVP. And the customer and waste management aspect of the customers are complex and have hard go live date. So for this one, we will include this in an MVP and exclude any non-important feature like waste management processing by external operator. So anything which is not required will be moved out of MVP and will be done in an iterative manner. So I'm almost so I think only this. So I'll just finish it up in the last 30 seconds. So customer service rep are used to have a high performance application and has a 10 minutes average handling time. For this, I will make sure that we can achieve this by open CTA, omni-channel entitlement and service console and using macros for speeding up the service efforts so that they can be handled in time. And they have a data center migration next 12 months and their host name may change. So we will make host name configurable in MuleSoft so that whenever it changes, we can configure it. ZR would like to recommend the following: the identity significant risk impacting the project. The SF team has to match the timeline with the in-house integration team. Failure by in-house team due to testing or environment mismatch can result in impact. So we have to make sure PMO makes the proper roadmap for all this. For any appropriate technology to management the development of project and ensure traceability, we will use Jira, GitHub, and Copilot for all this for traceability. And for testing methodology, we will use functional integration regression testing. And for any government guidance, we will have these DevOps diagram where we will be following Scratch or CI/Dev, QAs, UAT, and production, which will be partial sandbox for UAT and QA. I think that is it.
Okay, ready for questions?
Oh, yes.
Okay, can go to the roles.
Okay.
Okay, so you mentioned how you would have the service reps accessing all of the
Accounts.
all of the accounts, right? How are you doing that?
By making it PRO.
Making what PRO?
The account, I will make account OWD setting as a PRO for internal.
For internal. So then what about the internal salespeople?
They have not mentioned about salespeople, so they have
so then I guess the key account managers don't they only have the ability to edit?
Yes, for key customer, they are the owners. For key account, we are using customer manager as the owner. They have the ability to edit also. And this is a state-owned company, so it's different from the regular sales process. The sales this part comes after the sale has already done and state-owned utility means they don't have much option. The user automatically gets added as account when they want to start utilizing their services. So that here we are just maintaining the service part, not the sales part here.
Okay, so go to the first requirement under data visibility requirements.
Where? Here?
Data visibility requirements.
Here.
So you say the account OWD is private here.
No, it should be. Yeah, I think I mixed it up with person account and BA accounts. So it should be PRO. But key customers are owners.
Look at the requirement.
Key customers and their WMP records are only visible by the. Yeah, you're right. This is wrong. This would be Peter private. Then this can't be. Then this has to be private. And then for the internal employees, I will use criteria based owner. Once again, I'll be using criteria based rule and assign it to the public group of all internal service reps. That I will be doing it.
Yeah. The public group with all the internal to the public group?
Yeah, I will create a public group for internal service reps because they need to see all person accounts. And then in a criteria based sharing, I'll make sure The person accounts are seen by the public group of all internal service reps.
Could you go to the role hierarchy?
Yes.
So then you have what service reps as a role, right?
Right.
Okay.
Yes.
So why are you using a public group then?
Okay.
Why would you use a public?
Yeah, I can use roles also.
Yeah.
Here with the role service reps. Yes.
Okay. How are you doing the next requirement under, I guess, data visibility? The next requirement being the delegation.
Oh, for delegation on this wastewater management program, I'm having two custom fields, one for the date and one for the user, expiration date, and for the user who wants to see key customer program. And then there will be a record trigger flow which will uh, create the Apex managed sharing for the customer manager that will insert the data in the wastewater management program share. And there will be a scheduled path flow which will run on that expiration date that will remove it.
Oh, okay. Could you explain that again? I didn't follow.
Okay, I think it's better to use scheduled batch. Scheduled. So what I will do is on this wastewater management program, there will be two custom fields. One, designate when one will be saying that delegated delegate manager. So there they can choose another key customer manager, and there will be another field which will be say expiration date for the visibility of the delegate manager, something like that, the label, and then that date will be chosen. For example, I'm Nikhil, and I'm the key customer manager, and there's another person, Steve. For the Steve, I will be choosing that as a delegate on the user, and I'll be choosing a 22nd February. For 2 days, they will have visibility. So on the record trigger flow, they will immediately get inserted in the in the share record using Apex managed sharing, and then there will be a schedule for every night that will remove it.
What are you sharing? From Apex managed sharing, what are you sharing specifically? What object?
This object, water waste management program.
You mentioned that it's CVP, right? So it's controlled by parent.
So
Can you do share records on something that doesn't have a share table?
no, actually, what I did is I first wrote this and then I changed this to from MD to lookup. First it was private. So I think I need to switch back in that scenario. It should be private, and that should be a lookup.
Okay. So then you're sharing, what are you sharing then? The waste management program?
Right.
How are they getting access to the account?
They are not getting access to the account.
Oh, they're not getting access to the account as a delegate?
No, they have not mentioned about that they need access to the account. They need access. The key customer can delegate visibility to another manager and can delegate yeah, they're talking only about WMP. They are not talking about accounts.
Okay. What is on the WMP record that you have in your model waste management program?
So waste management program, they will have a basic detail that, for example, the name that the treatment of water for, let's say, Q1 2025, and then they will be tied to on all those locations. You can see in the related list. Okay, this is the water management program for Q1 2025 being used, and then they for that location they can come here and then see, okay, for that how many locations have been treated as a part of this program, how much kiloliter of water was treated, how much it was costed, all these kind of information they can see.
Got it. What if they want to trace who was delegated to?
Oh, if they want to trace it, then I can enable the history on these two fields.
Okay.
Right here.
Okay. Got it. And then what about the billing accounts? Where are you storing billing accounts?
You said building accounts?
Mhm.
Buildings, so that's the location. table, the sites.
And then how are they visible to the users who are able to view the customer record?
So so the key customer manager who owns that will also owns these locations. So they will be the owner of those locations to see it.
So when they delegate, they're not able to see their locations for that account.
Yeah, they will only see this, but they will see the name of the account and well as name of the location. But the moment they click on it, they will get the insufficient privilege, but they will see the name. But they will get only the WMP visibility and this part visible to them for the delegate. And because they have not even mentioned about the accounts, they mention about only the programs.
Okay. And how are you doing the wastewater manager? So there's like the internal operator that has like, you're using super user for this, right? Could you go to that requirement? Yeah. Well, can you talk about why you're using super users here?
Wastewater management batches, you were talking about this object now, okay? Wastewater batches are only editable by operator employees who manages, who entered it, except for the except for the managers of that operator employee who can view wastewater management. Yeah. So I'm assuming that if there's a manager one, there's a manager two, and manager one has three operator, and then manager two also has 2-3 operators. So manager one can see their subordinates data, but cannot see manager two's data. For that one, I'm making them super user so that they can see across the team because of
They
this.
can see the entire all the okay.
Under their account, under the hood. Not they cannot see across the account though.
Okay. Are you assuming that there's only one team at a time?
No, I'm assuming
For the
there could be more than one team. That's why I'm giving this. This comes in place when there are more than one team.
Do you think that super users can do super users have access to, does it act like a role hierarchy, or do they have access to all the records under that account?
No, so when it works for siblings actually, when the role hierarchies, so the two managers are sibling, they are at same level, then super user comes in place.
Can you have multiple super users on a single account?
Yes.
Sure. And also, how do you make it so that it's not visible? It's only viewable, not editable. Like in the requirement, it says viewable, not editable.
I think this super user only gives the visibility. I'm not sure if there's a setting of it also, but I think it gives only view.
Why would they call super user was not edited? You're using it. You're not using super user, right? Super user is only one per account, and also for cases where you have someone who's like a super user, who uses all the data under that single account.
I'm not sure. Yeah, I don't know about this in detail. How it is because I don't remember this view edit thing.
Look up the external account hierarchy. You can do the executive, then manager, then user. You know how you can do roles under
that I'm aware of. But see, okay, so it's like this. For example, water manager. Okay, and then we have a user. Base manager. Yeah, let's say there are two role hierarchy, not the one. And let me copy this.
Yeah.
Okay. Now super user comes into play. Okay, when it's the same account, okay, and then same account, this manager one wants to see data of VM user 2. Then in that case, I will make this as a super user. It's not, I think you're saying about something.
Okay.
You're saying about user, manager, and executive. I'm not talking about that.
Okay, so you're not doing it right then, because it says it's only visible, right?
Yeah,
You see how it's not It's only editable by the operator employee who entered it, except for the manager, who can view waste data.
Editable by operator employee, except for the external manager. Yeah, so it says that these are the operators employee, right? They can enter it and edit it, except for this manager. So and then they can view across the team. So this is across the team. They can see this data and this data also. But except for the external, yeah.
Yeah, but they can just be above them in the role hierarchy. They can be the executive level.
Right.
To be the manager level in the external role hierarchy. You don't need to do it in super user for this.
No, but how will manager 1 will see VM user 2 data?
It says within their team. It says that in the requirement. It says across their team. Waste data across their team.
Okay,
so a team
I think
yeah, so it's not saying across the entire account, it's saying across their team.
So basically, do you see it like this? Like this is team. 1 second. Maybe I'm reading it wrong. So this is yeah. So this is team 1. I think the best way is to write it here. Yeah, this is team 1, and this is team 2. But they are in the same account.
Yes.
That's how I assume. This both is our team 1, team 2, and they are in the same account. If that is the thing, then for this to see this one, then super user is the way to see it. Otherwise, how will they see it?
No, you're reading it wrong.
Oh.
I think it's just maybe an English thing. It says across the team. So it's not about the entire account. It's saying across their specific team.
Got it. Yeah, now I understand what you're trying to say. It's across their team means like if it's like this. So they want to see this and this. So it becomes role. Yeah, I think I read it. I think I wasn't.
And super users, like super user would be not necessary. Right? Because that's like more in the case where you want
yeah, you're right. If it is across like this, then super user is not needed. It's automatically getting the access. But it is across the team, like this is team 1, team 2, then in that scenario, I would go with super user. That if it is that way.
Okay. And then view all cases. Could you explain that for this service user permission?
This one?
Yeah. So view all cases. You're doing a permission set.
Right. Right. So they're saying that super user should have the ability to view all cases and complaints, basically. So for certain, there will be a permission set with a name like super user and give them view all access to cases, view all cases. And for those set of users, I will give them that permission set.
Okay. And then they have a permission set. How are you assigning the cases out? You mentioned how you're using, was it omni-channel?
Yes.
Can you go to that requirement?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, go. So this is talking how you're doing, they're asking for go to the round robin aspect of it.
Round robin is for lead part for the key customer.
Right?
Sorry?
Is it actually lead?
Yeah, round robin is not for this. That is different. Do you want to go to round robin?
Yeah, go to the round robin. Sorry. Okay. So, how are you? First of all, how are you making leads available for omni-channel?
Omni-channel works for lead also and cases also, recorder also.
Yeah.
So
but it's not available with just the Sales Cloud license.
No, I have Service Cloud license for this one.
Okay. Then you
I have Service Cloud.
Okay.
I think here.
How are they accessing then the lead? Oh, you don't have then Service Cloud assigned. They have to have and Sales Cloud.
Right. Good call. Yeah, they have to have both. You're right. Even they want to
And
have
then,
pieces of the, yeah.
how are you doing the round robin via omnichannel?
What I understand from round robin is based on availability and capacity, we'll set up that. I think it's called uh, I'm forgetting the routing configuration where we set up the capacity and how much each person can take, and in that manner I can do that. So
That's not round.
whoever has the least capacity will get this first. So it will automatically be going to other person.
Is that round robin?
That's
That's like most available, right?
yeah.
But
That's
most
not exactly round robin, but it's similar to round robin, but it's not like okay, person A not has to go person B, C, D, E. It's not like that. But it
that's what they're asking for, though.
sorry, what?
That's what they're asking for. They're asking for round robin that way.
I think I omni channel, but how I assume is if the first person is busy with even one work and the capacity is three, the other person does not have a work, then
Okay, but you're just stating the requirement. I mean, it says round robin. You're saying that you disagree with the requirement right now. That's it. Like, you're saying that you're saying I think that using omnichannel and most available is better, but like they're asking for omnichannel here in this case.
yeah,
They're asking for round robin in this case. Sorry, they're asking for round robin.
you're right. So this is not round robin omni channel. It's capacity available. Yeah. So I need to have a different solution for this.
Yeah.
I have to do research for this. Yeah. I don't know. I know there are probably app exchange products for doing the same thing. I don't know
Yeah.
how suppose I can do this.
Okay. And then you are what's in the login screen flow?
Right.
So aren't they doing the application already when they submit the lead?
No, that time they just fill up the information, they show the expression of interest, the lead is created, and then they qualify it. Okay, the expression of interest is good. Can we consider them for as our partner? If yes, then we give them to fill up the application and the payment of the application fee. After that, it is in the requirement here.
So you have a login screen flow for that.
Right. So
Uh-huh.
because the first part I want them after they become a user is to do the application and pay the fee so that after that we can do the actual business with them without not without the fee.
Why use a login screen flow?
So that the application screen flow automatically comes for them to as a first thing whenever they log in, because this is a mandatory step for them to do it. Once the application is done, then login screen flow will never show this application again.
How do you make sure that the login screen flow never launches after they're done with their application?
So we will have a checkbox on a user record that application is done or application is paid, and that login screen flow will check the checkbox to bypass it.
Can you do that?
Yeah.
You can bypass this login screen flow.
Login screen flow will run, but it will not show that screen flow for force them to do the application. It will just come and go, and they will not see the difference as if they are logging it without screen flow.
What happens when they want to complete the application later, or when they are half done the application and they want to return to it later?
Yeah, say they can skip, so we will can give them the skip part. So application they have to provide it for sure. I mean, they have not even mentioned that they can use the other parts of the Salesforce or other functionality without application. So application is a must part for them to do it. After that, they can use. We will lock other things. The reason we are going with the screen, we want to lock other things, and they cannot use it without doing the application and paying the application fee.
Okay. And so what happens when they want to exit the application and they come back?
So when they exit the application, they can go to they can see the tab of application. They can click on it. The screen we can have a screen flow, even embedded in a lightning guided action, which can open up again, and they can start from where they left off, and then they can complete the application and do the payment.
Okay, why not just do that instead of doing a login screen flow?
Why not just do login screen flow? We are just reusing the same thing through a login screen flow. We are just basically reminding them or telling them to do this every time they log in.
Okay, so it's a reminder then.
It's a reminder that you have to do this. This is the first thing you need to do.
Okay, I see. What about the payment? How is that facilitated?
So they have not mentioned about how the payment is done. So, but this one,
You
this
have a
just
gateway, right?
yeah, that's where I'm about to go. So for the payment, I'm gonna use the same thing, ZEBP. So that will be I will be using it for this, and the once they click on the payment button on the screen flow, then they'll be redirected to a page hosted by ZEBP where they will fill up the information and the payment will be done.
So how is ZEBPP? How is that getting information about how much they are owed or how much they owe?
Yeah, so the architect behind ZEBP, I assume it's gonna be like any other payment apps like Chargent or Blackthorn, where there will be an object where whatever payment and whoever the payment is to be, all the important details will be inserted by MuleSoft. Just for example, if I take an example of Chargent order. So let's say there's ZEBP order where the information will be inserted, and then the link will be spit out from there, where the link will have a token, and then the link will be used on the browser to redirect the person that will show the ZEBP page with the token, and with that token, their page will display all the information like the amount and which merchant account it is going to, and which will be viewable only. So that's how it will happen.
How are you associating the Salesforce user with that transaction that's being performed in ZEBP?
So when on the screen flow, when they click on a pay button, we fetch their user information also, and we will fetch the payment amount also, and we also know where the payment has to go. So MuleSoft will insert that idempotency key in the ZEPP table, and we will get the link out from there, and that link will be sent it to them, and that the token in the link will basically that object table in the ZEPP will have that information of the user also.
How are you recording the amount owed or what's being paid or what has been paid? If it's the billing stuff is on the, what is it? Where are you recording that how much has been paid in Salesforce?
So I have a external object for this invoices, and they will have the two links. One is for the invoice, and if it is payment is done, there will be a column which will show that okay, for this invoice payment is done, and then there will be a payment link to that, and this link will take it. So for example, for the payment link, they have mentioned here uh, uh, here that the bill representation, electronic bill representation, and the PDF copy. So for this, that link will take them to ZEBP to display the PDF. So it will be here, and for the external customers, there will be LWC, not the external object, basically.
How are you making it so that they only see their own invoices for the external object?
Yeah, that's why we are using LWC so that we can handle the security through Apex controller. Whoever the customer is there, then on the server side we do the validation. Okay, for that account, these are the invoices that needs to be shown, and I've clicked on this particular link. That is the key, and we have to make sure that invoice belongs to this account, and this is the currently logged in account user, and so that the security is in place. So we will do it Apex server validation.
How are you ensuring that that they don't, for example, inject software and retrieve maybe invoices they don't have access to, or invoices that are not for them?
Yeah, we will use some SQL with bind in the Apex side, and we will use that, as well as we will not make sure we are not passing any parameters from the uh, browser URL. So we'll make sure we'll send
How are
it.
you querying? Wait, how are you querying even the external object? What are you using to query the external object
So
for the?
for example, when it is on LWC, we'll pass the user ID information, and sorry, what is the contact. So we'll get in LWC, we'll get to know what is the account from that user ID, contact and account, and we can search it on the invoice X, this external object for this account. These are the invoices. We'll send the data back from Apex to the JavaScript on LWC, which will show to display it. That's how we will do it. We will use the session and the current logged in user. They cannot change that.
Okay. Is there a reason why you want to use like restriction rules? Anything?
Restriction rules on external object to show them, like that you're saying? To the
Or why add an LWC here if you can just use standard UI?
Because that's where I'm concerned about security. That's the reason. Because I'm not when I'm configuring this external object, I'm using name principal, not authentication per user. That's the reason I'm going with LWC
Yeah.
here.
You can use a restriction rule. Look up restriction rules. You can use restriction rules for this. For sharing. Sharing only the appropriate external records.
Okay, I'll look into that restriction rules. I know custom objects have seen restriction rules and all, which restrict, but I will see it for the external object as well. I've never heard about restriction rules on external object.
And then how are you handling large data volumes?
One question, but LWC was not incorrect also, right? What I answered.
Yeah, it's just extra customization, so you don't need to do that.
Okay. What's your another question? LDV. LDV, I'm handling it by making a custom indexes skinny table and making sure that the system user is the owner who does not have any role associated with it.
Mhm.
That's and as well as moving data for inactive accounts as well as the closed cases, 6 months old cases to data warehouse.
Into a data warehouse.
Yes.
Can I see your ERD again? I'm just see it. Can't see the. Okay. How are you using entitlements?
Yes, I'm using entitlements.
Why?
Because for key customers, cases have to be resolved in 5 days. For some customers, it has to be resolved in 14 days. Notification has to be sent. So for that purpose, I'm using entitlement.
And what made you decide to use entitlement? Like what aspect of that makes entitlement necessary?
Because they mentioned about some specific type of customers which require higher SLAs over other people. and they have different milestones. So they need to be handled within a certain time frame. So the service, basically the difference in the service, certain key customers have to be handled quickly in a better way. So that's why I'm going with entitlement here. So certain business customers receive a higher level of service. That's what they mentioned. And they must be resolved within 5 days. That's why. And they will have a different.
How are you associating then how are you making sure that the higher service customers get higher service?
So when the sales rep, when the accounts are created initially, and then when we know that these are certain business that receive a higher level of service, on there we will create an entitlement where we will choose the entitlement process like platinum customers, like that. I'm just making the word up, and then the other customers, gold customers. So based on that, we will have those accounts set up, the entitlement set up on that account related list.
Okay, so can you just tell me the relationship between the entitlements and what objects are the entitlements related to?
Sure, sure. So on entitlement date, the other fields we don't need it, like asset and all. But we will, once the case is created for that particular account, we will have a Apex trigger that will get the same entitlement by default. So once the account case is created, and based on which entitlement is associated with the case, the milestone will work either for 14 days or 5 days, depending on which entitlement is selected on the case.
Why use an Apex trigger?
You mean to say why Apex trigger versus record trigger flow?
I'm asking.
Okay.
Well, so you know, it's out of the box. It doesn't. Don't need to automate any of that stuff. Like if you have the entitlement that looks up to the account, Salesforce already does all that work where it assigns any new cases that entitlement process.
I think Justin, I tested that a few times and I confirmed it also with people, and I've seen in document that I guess that doesn't get selected on its own. When account has an entitlement, when you create a case out of it, this entitlement doesn't come up. You have to have logic, or you have to manually select it. It happens with asset when you choose the product, but not with the cases.
Not with, what do you mean, with asset versus cases? Huh?
I'm saying, for example, when you have an entitlement for the product, an entitlement template, and when you create a asset out of that product, you will see the entitlement record created automatically, right? But in this particular scenario, where
No. How does entitlement relate to, what is the purpose of an entitlement for an asset?
okay, if if I just focus on case right now, I'll come back to asset. What I'm telling here is, if account has an entitlement process associated with it, and when the case gets created, the case never comes up with the entitlement. You have to manually select or have a record trigger flow.
Oh, okay, I see. So you're saying that that's something that Salesforce cannot accomplish, that it
Yes,
doesn't intelligently assign an entitlement process to the case based
yes,
on the entitlement that's associated with the account.
yes. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, okay. And so what's the entitlement? What do entitlements cover in general?
So entitlement basically it covers the setup you do for the different set of customers, like like first
What
response. In
what
how many,
parent objects for what are the parent objects for an entitlement? There are
so
three.
are you talking about entitlement for account, for service contract, for, are you talking about that?
Yeah, and then asset, right?
So yeah, so entitlement is basically based on the customer you're treating, and the, I think the contract and the service contract, or specific product, which is service contract line items. So based
No,
on
no asset.
yeah, asset is also there. So I'm
No,
thinking of,
no,
I'm thinking
it's
of
just
four actually.
huh?
I'm thinking of four.
No, it's only three. It's account, service contract, and asset. Unless you're, I mean, if you think about contract line items are not even a part of the standard objects, unless you're using the
I'm,
service.
I'm talking about service contract line items.
Yeah, that's not a standard object. Or that's not out of the box.
Okay. One is the account. One can be contact also. Yeah, I'm forgetting those things. I need to recheck again. Yeah. One is the account,
Yeah.
one is contact, and I thought contact
No,
is
no, it's account.
asset and
It's
service.
yeah.
Okay. I think I need to recheck, but because I know that on a contact also, that part I'm 100% sure that on a contact also, there's a entitlement contact. So for each contact also, you can have a certain entitlement. For account also, you can have a specific entitlement. For asset also, you can have a certain kind of entitlement. Even for
Mhm.
service contract also, you can have a specific entitlement. Even for service contract line item also, you can have a specific entitlement. These 4 or 5, I'm definitely, but I
They're not. But like, what is the service contract line item? Where does that come in? What managed package does that? What industry cloud does that come with? Yeah. So are you using field service lightning?
no, I think
Right?
it's
Like,
simple part of service cloud. For example, if any asset has a uh, service associated with it, then we can do an entitlement process tied to that service contract line item. I'll
like,
recheck. I'll recheck my notes again and I'll get back to you on that part. Yeah,
mhm.
what I remember.
Is it an enti? Yeah. I'm not sure that entitlement looks up to contract line items though.
Uh, okay, it's recording. I'll check it again. I think I remember that part. I'll check.
Okay. Yeah. You're right. Actually, it actually does have contract line item as an option.
Right.
I've never seen it done like that though. So
No, I have read. Actually, I did very thorough research on it, but it's been a long time that it gets associated, and I did it hands-off practice. That how it gets associated with asset and how it automatically gets created. So you can associate it with product through entitlement template, and when that product becomes asset, it automatically comes in the asset. And then entitlement is associated with the account, also associated with contact through entitlement contact, which is a junction object,
yeah.
associated with service contract, also associated with service contract line items.
Yeah.
Oh, I think I have a whiteboard here where I have an architect diagram for same thing entitlement, and I've mentioned all these objects: entitlement contract, entitlement templates, service contract line items, all those things. Yeah, I did a
The
thorough hands-on on this. Like I inserted the data and checked.
what happens, for example, when you are creating a case and you have an entitlement for an account and an entitlement for an asset, and you're creating the case for the asset.
Okay, so in that scenario, generally it's a business rule who decides it, but I think in that scenario, the assets entitlement will override the overall accounts asset, so overall accounts entitlement. So for
Yeah.
example, yeah, so assets entitlement will be populated on the case by a code. Oh, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's good. Cool. Yeah. I think we spent enough time on this one. Um, yeah, I think make sure your sharing is straightened out, and then also, yeah, I think that's where you backtracked a little bit there and changed it halfway through. Which if you change it halfway through, then what happens is that you end up having to change the entire solution in a way. So try not to change your sharing.
That was not intentional. You caught me with few problems. That's why I had to fix it again. Yeah. Yeah, but if that happens in the exam, they will fail me immediately. Like, what will
I
happen?
mean, it's like, it would be hard to like come back from like a
Mhm.
I mean, it's pretty like it's like pretty clear. Where if you think like just as a general rule, you don't want to do like public read only or public read write or anything. Just generally, try to avoid doing that ever.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not a good thing to do, and it's hard to come back from obviously come back from that.
Yeah, you're right.
Uh, yeah, but okay, cool. I want to try to get off here on time, so yeah, I think it was good though. I think you did a better job of explaining, and I think also timing wise, I don't think that I think you were over time in a way, right?
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
No,
overall, like the designs, the artifacts, and the solution.
it's good. Yeah, it's good. I think you did a good job. I think it's getting better. So that's my opinion. I mean, you'll look back to your old recordings. I mean, I'm sending you the recordings, right? So you can also see it for yourself. I think you're getting better. So
Yeah, I realize that, and I'm thinking I'm improving. Yes, even I feel that.
that's good. Okay, I'll send you the recording after this, and then I'm gonna pick a scenario tonight. But it's gonna be like this one. If you want to do more long ones, we can do more long ones if you'd like.
Oh, I picked one, but you can discard it. I have not started it, but you can give me the one if you want.
No, which one did you pick?
I was picking a short one. Let me see, one was it? Give me 1 minute.
Okay.
Where is it gone? Santa Corp, Flow Republic one. The shortest one I picked actually. But if you want to change it, I'm happy to change this one. If you want.
You scroll down. I'm just curious what it is saying.
Actually, there's one which we can do, greenhouse. I already did that long one, but I have not presented to anyone.
Okay, yeah, that's a good challenging one. Let's do greenhouse. That's good. I'm
Let
trying
me,
to do more challenges.
yeah, let me just one second. Let me see in my downloads. It is greenhouse. There are two. Yeah,
I thought
I
we
did.
already did together.
We did.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Let me go back to my notes.
Maybe in November when I started. I'm
Yeah,
not
I
sure.
think that you did uh green roof. I'm pretty sure. Did
Yeah,
you?
because even I was thinking maybe I've done this, but this time I've done a completely different job. Like, but it's okay if you want to do something else. I'll tell you.
Um,
This
did
time
you
I've used complete FSL as well as Salesforce maps for that in Green Roof.
when did you do it last?
Green Roof I did it like 2 weeks ago.
Oh, okay. So it's not new for you.
No, but I did it and I didn't get a chance to present it or talk about it with anybody.
Oh, you didn't?
No,
Green roof. Okay. Let me see here. Green roof, green roof.
but I loved it, the Green Roof, because I learned a lot about FSL.
Oh, yeah, this one.
Tell me one thing, Justin, if requirement comes about showing the products, showing the checkouts, card summary, and buying it by the end customers, I know that's a Commerce Cloud thing. Then do we
Uh-huh.
propose Commerce Cloud or shall we implement customization in the Sales Cloud by making an item custom card object and all those things? What should I do in that scenario? What do you do?
You don't want to. Oh, in the case where you are picking between build versus buy. Is that what you're asking?
Yeah,
Or
if they give me a requirement, so we have a company who's selling, like for example, the chairs on the US and UK and France, and those customers should see it, select the chairs, buy it, and pay it, and see the summary on the card. So kind of like an Amazon buy experience. Basically, Salesforce Sales Cloud is not meant for that. Commerce Cloud, which is a Salesforce product, D2C, is meant for
yeah,
that.
but that's not going to be in a scenario anyways. You can just understand like the industry cloud and understand how like CPQ works as a standard objects, and that's all that matters.
If they say, then what should I propose? Should I say Commerce Cloud, or should I say, okay, I'll do this in Sales Cloud with the
Just
customization?
use Sales Cloud and then use custom objects, but it's not going to happen.
Okay.
They're not going to ask for like an entire e-commerce solution in those scenarios.
How would you do
They
round
don't,
robin for leads?
huh?
How would you do round
Use
robin for leads?
Apex code.
And how will Apex see, okay, one person this, then second this, then third this, then come
Well, it
back?
just shows you just sequence the lead assignment through a custom field showing who was the person that was assigned, right? And then you'd have just a sequence through metadata, right? You have a custom metadata solution potentially where you have like maybe, you know, person A, B, C, and then, or you look at the people that are available or people who can be assigned, and then you would just kind of loop through them
Or
potentially.
I can do manage. I'll download any manage package. Propose that for round robin.
I would say that you would probably just be best explaining it. If they ask questions, you just explain that how you do it in Apex, which you'd say, I assign person A, and then there's Apex logic that loops through all the people that can be assigned, and the person that was assigned, like the first or the oldest, the person who it's been the longest time since they've been assigned a lead, and we would assign them the lead. Like it would be first in, first out, right? That's it. First lead or first assignee, then first, or last available rep, first one assigned. I'm sure there's another operating model, but yeah, you would just use round robin through Apex, and I don't think they would follow up. And to be honest,
Okay.
like you know, you could probably explain it differently, but it's just like you could just use Apex for that pretty easily by reporting the date signed and then finding the person who is the oldest assignee.
Okay. I'll do this.
Green roof works. Let's just do green roof, okay?
Okay. Thank you, Justin.
Yeah. Okay. Bye.
Bye.